Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Maybe even for some of you, good evening. We will get started just in a quick minute as I still see people are joining. So just 2 seconds of patience. Okay, maybe just give a few more seconds and we'll get started right away. So for those of you that just joined, again, good morning, good afternoon, and potentially good evening. Most of you already know me, but for those of you that don't, I'm Paulo. I manage the partnerships and strategic alliances here at Answer Modules. And obviously on the line today is Patrick, our CEO and CTO. As you can see from the title screen I have, obviously today, the session is about the latest release, version 3.4 of Module Suite. And for those of you that have been following us for a while now, you know that with each release, we are naming it after a beautiful region here or location, better yet, in Ticino, in the southern part of Switzerland. And Rancate actually holds a special place in Answer Modules, at least for me. It's where we started. Small office, very small town, but incredibly beautiful. And the people of the town thought that we were a computer repair shop. So that led to some interesting conversations from time to time when people knocked on our doors. But anyways, let's see what we have in store today. So obviously the focus is on 3.4. Patrick will be going into detail on that, but the main updates to the document editor capabilities, some new widgets for the Smart UI, application builder, as well as some, let's say, talks about the updates to the script console. Before that, I want to share 2 quick updates, or let's say 2.5 quick updates. So first and foremost, next week, Patrick, myself, and our colleague from Answer Consulting, Jacopo, we will be in Rotterdam for the Open Text Forum. So it will be a live event, our first live event of 2023. We will be there as sponsors, and we will be speaking along with our good customer, SCK Chen, and we'll be on stage together. So for the, let's say, the Benelux community, if you'll be at that event, it'll be great to meet in person. Just reach out to me and we can set up some time to grab a coffee or a beer afterwards. Now, the other update I want to share, excuse me, is the results of our yearly satisfaction survey. So I presume most of you have seen this either on LinkedIn or through our newsletter. The results, they are, well, we're very happy with the results, not only because of the numbers, but more importantly of the consistency that we've been seeing year over year. So we're obviously happy to receive this positive feedback. It means that, you know, the product, the solution is on the right track. But more importantly, it was also good to receive some of the constructive criticism of, you know, maybe what could be improved, what wasn't working, because that is how we can get these numbers higher over the year. So again, any feedback, don't hesitate just to drop me a line, and we will be more than happy to read it over. Now, I presume most of you already know the module suite. For those of you that, you know, this kind of maybe the first time or one of the first times being exposed to it, I'll be very brief. It is an add-on for Extend DCM, and therefore also for Content Suite, and we are positioning it as an enabler and accelerator for digital transformation on these ECM platforms or platform. Essentially, it supports customers, partners, the community in creating tailored applications, personalizing the platform, and doing so in a more efficient manner versus, let's say, custom developments. Now, you've probably seen this tagline in the before as well. I've recently made a small change to it, and that is digital transformation enabler and accelerator for XMDCM on and off cloud. And the reason I added this is because we were seeing great traction and great success in module suite being, as let's say, one of the enablers for the transition to the OT cloud. So if that you're down that path, it would be good also to catch up on how we could, or how the module suite could help out on that front as well. And with that, I will continue taking control of the slides, but I'll hand the mic to Patrick.
Thank you very much, Paolo. So, I had issues in unmuting myself, apparently. So, can I move to the next slide? So first of all, document editor capabilities. So as you know, we have recently started introducing with the module suite 3.3 some additional widgets, and as promised, we are increasing the capabilities of the new widgets that we're bringing into the system. So the one that we have been working recently is this document editor widget that allows us to provide you with editing capabilities directly within the interface of content server and extended DCM. And this new widget, together with an additional new service, allows us to introduce some additional interesting, very interesting new use cases. So on top of this widget, we have built an application that you will find in the updated version of the application builder, and which basically will allow you to quite easily implement a solution through which you will be able to create a form and utilize that form in order to create an application for creating new documents based on the information that you are entering in the form. So you will be able to select a template, even a Word template. You will be able to add placeholders to this template, and you will be able to inject the information from the form to the template, and you will be able to produce a new document based on the content of the templates and the information provided. That is, again, based on not only the new functionality offered by the widget, but this additional new components, new additional extension package that will come with 3.4 and will support the transformation of Word documents in both directions. So from Word document to the version that is required to support the transformation for the widget, as well as from the native format of the widget back into Word document. As we mentioned in a recent webinar, so these widgets, we are going to extend the libraries with more of these widgets with the upcoming releases, and this particular widget has been quite utilized into our vertical solution, so the contract contract management application. So this is a solution that allows you to manage end-to-end the life cycle of contracts from creation to approval, negotiation, and archive. Can you move forward to the next slide? So next slide, please. Other widgets for the one of you that attended probably the previous webinar, so this is not new, but again, as part of this new library of widgets, there is also this new grid widget that will substitute grid widgets that were previously part of the libraries. So obviously we are not discontinuing support for the previous widgets, but I will recommend our customers and partners to start utilizing this new grid because it's way more flexible. And the data sources that are feeding this new widget, they are based on the OData format, which is a standard way for creating web services and REST APIs that are compatible with, for example, this kind of UI elements and widgets. So as you know, starting from version 3.3, we introduced this new extension package that allows it to easily implement and consume OData service, OData compatible services. And we've started leveraging this extension package with this first widget. When we're going to go to the demonstration, I will show you an example of how flexible this can be and how easy it is now to create the complex user experience that this widget allows you to provide, writing very few lines of code in the data source script. Can you move to the next slide? Another thing that we added to the mix is the possibility of creating panels through smart pages. So you will be now able to enhance the smart UI user experience even more than you could do before. You will be able to add additional panels to the among the properties of an object, and you will be able to generate this panel as smart pages. So we will have the flexibility to inject additional information into this panel, and you will be able to leverage these new capabilities to provide additional information or some interfaces that will allow you to control and manage the objects themselves. An example is for the metadata manipulation of an object. We all know that the standard interface, it might not be the easiest one to be utilized all the time, and many times you might want to have that interface customized and simplified for users. Through this new capability and the new application that you will find again in the application builder, you will be able to do so, and that would be very, very easy. So we are introducing another new application in the application builder. This new application will basically allow you to create from a category the entire application that is required to generate the form that will allow you to manipulate the category information and to utilize the information in the form to change the category information associated with the object. Can you move forward? The application builder is again receiving new applications, as I mentioned. We have fixed some of the issues that were in the compatible with cloud deployments.
So Patrick, could you repeat that, please? Because I think we lost you for a second or so.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, really sorry about the headset failed me. So I was mentioning, so the application builder, we have introduced several new applications in the application builder. Our goal is to make it really the hub through which you start working with module suites, and you will be able to accelerate even further your work with the module suite. we make it more compatible with cloud deployment and environments in which you have very limited rights. So we have introduced a set of APIs that will allow us to fully generate or every object that is part of the application and that are managed by Model Suite in a very controlled way. So that is, again, compatible with the kind of deployment in which you have very few permissions and that are typically environments that are totally managed by a partner or by OpenText itself. Can you move to the next slide? So there is this new category to form application, the new document builder application, and all the other applications that I've told you have been improved. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the script console is a solution that you, as might know, is part of Model Suite, is part of the bundle. It is the standalone runtime environment that allows us to implement a few interesting use cases. Has been around for from the very beginning, so was part of Model Suite from the very beginning. But it is not, let me say, a standard content server module. So has always been part of the solution. What we decided to do, what the plan is for this year, is to completely rewrite this application, and because what we have learned from the experience of our customers and partners is that the way Script Console is mostly utilized is not as actually a Script Console, but as a typically as a standalone server through which publish forms and through which collect feedback and input from external users. So for this reason, we did two things. So the first one is with this release, we've simplified and improved the persistency layer of the Script Console. We strengthened the by default encryption of every file that is stored by the application, and that will be basically the last improvement that we'll be applying on the Script Console. So the Script Console will be still supported for this year, but the next form of the Script Console will be a serverless application compatible with the previous version, but will no longer require you to deploy anything. Will be something that you'll be able to deploy on the major hypervisors cluster. So it will be something that will be super easy to be deployed and very effective in terms of usage. So we expect to release this new version of the product of the Script Console, rewritten as a serverless solution by the end of this solar year. So, and with the next slide, I think I can jump on a demonstration. So obviously, Model Suite version 3.4 introduces several bug fixing and introduces the compatibility with the latest version of extended ECM 22.4. So the solution is now compatible with it, and also bug fixings. But there's other aspects of the solution that I'd like to show you in the demonstration. So let me share my screen, and I will show you. So one of the things that we have added to the solution is the possibility to utilize standard widgets inside of Smart Pages. So we have started with the widgets that are most commonly utilized into perspectives, and this is because Smart Pages offers you a greater flexibility in terms of how to organize the pages and how to work with the real estate of the page. So let me show you an example of how we implemented and utilized this new library of widgets in 3.4. So first of all, you can see here, so the new grid, as I mentioned, offers you a lot of flexibility in terms of how to display information, which information to be displayed, and how to organize the data. So I can, for example, very easily through the widget, aggregate information that I'm looking at. For example, I can aggregate by grades, I can aggregate by department, and the grid adapts itself. The grid is obviously paginated and offers you, again, a lot of flexibility in terms of what you want to do. It is entirely based on a, as I mentioned, OData web service. And this means that the widget allows you to implement complex things such as, for example, changing the filtering by date, applying, I don't know, complex filtering such as I want to search for everything that is next year or is after a certain date. I can do so, and the system will automatically implement this complex filtering, and the filtering is implemented directly by the extension package, so you don't have to deal with it directly. The other aspect is that this grid also offers you the possibility of implementing complex manipulations. So if I want to change, for example, this data, I can do so. So what I can do is say I want to assign the same grade to all this user in batch, I can do so. So as soon as I click the update button, every record will be updated, will be modified, and that is something that would be tremendously convenient in your applications. What we also did, as I mentioned, the possibility of utilizing standard widgets inside Smart Pages. And this is an example of a perspective that does exactly that. As you can see, we stack basically the standard related workspace, theme, and metadata widget into a single content script-based tile. And from here, we can work with all this information. We can manage the different participants' roles. But as you can see, we have a much better usage of the space that we have in the page. So we can put more things together, and we can, for example, utilize the header to provide information about where we are in terms of you know, the process of managing this case. And we have all the space to also offer our users direct access to the internal content. And as I mentioned, so this is done directly through Smart Pages. So if you go into the configurations in here, where is it? Onboarding employees and onboarding application, you have now in this new page, you have the possibility to just stack these widgets. So you have several widgets already that are that you can utilize, and for each one of them, you can just provide the configuration for the widgets, and they will be and that will be basically, we're going to display the standard information and in the standard way. So it's the same as configuring them to the perspective manager. We have the widgets are the standard ones, so the configuration is the same, exactly the same as in the perspective manager. So the beauty is that you can just decide how you want to reorganize stuff. So for example, if I want to put the theme over the related workspaces, I can do so, and I can just refresh the page, and that's it. I will have the theme over the workspaces, and the metadata is below them. So again, a very powerful way of organizing the pages. The other aspect that I'd like to show you and discuss briefly with you is again the widgets. So let me show you an example of the widgets that we mentioned. I think I have here an example of an application that has been built with the beautiful Webflow Studio. I will show you how this application has been built in a second. Let me show you first what the application does. So here we have the new widget, as I mentioned, the document editor widget. What this document editor widget allows me to do is to search for a document into my system, and I can load it and utilizing it as a template. So this is the document that we have been uploading. So it's a Word document. But the other things that this system allows it to do is to replace part of the information inside of here directly with placeholder. In this case, placeholders are directly retrieved from the list of fields that you have in the form. So I can just select the customer, and if I provide a value here, so answer modules, for example, I will be able to ask the system to generate now a document that is exactly the same, but with the placeholder substituted. So you see here, so here we have the document, the same document with the placeholder substituted. So you can imagine how this simple application can be actually implemented very quickly and utilized in your own workflows application or application, more generally speaking. How this application is built, and this is probably we'll hand off the demonstration part. So through the application builder. So for the one that doesn't know, Model Suite comes with this application builder, which is a solution that you can find in the content script volume. So if you go in the content script volume under CS tools, you have this application builder. Application builder is a Model Suite application, and again offers you the possibility of creating several kinds of application. Each one is based on a template, so you can create even your own application template and put among ours. The application template I started from is this document builder. So in order to create that one, you just have to select the space in which you want to create this solution, and then you provide the configuration file that can be either an existing form or a new form to be created. So let's select a new one in this case. And what the system will do for you is creating all the the form template, the view, the scripts that are required to manage the synchronization of placeholders, etc. Everything will be created by the application and configured by the application. So this is basically the same, the starting point from the application that I showed you a few moments ago. You see, with the widget, the editor, etc. And with that, I will return the word to my colleague for some interesting updates.
Okay, so give me 1 second so I can reshare my screen. So we've actually come to the end of today's session for Q&As. And I see that the Q&A panel has been populating throughout the presentation. So let me just, okay. So I see them. Patrick, I'll just read them off and we can answer them live. Okay. So do you also support editing documents created using Google Suite applications?
Not yet. So for the time being, only documents created with either the Word application or Word 365 application.
Okay. Then where might I find instructions or examples that explain how to use the application builder templates? And can I build my own templates?
Yes, you can definitely build your own template, and you are actually encouraged to do so. And you can ask support for help in how to. So our support team is there for supporting you in in helping you with the creation of new templates. We love the idea that you will be able to create new ones. The how to use each application, you will find help directly in the application. So when you start application, it should be fairly easy to utilize it. We did our best in order to make it very easy to comprehend how to use it and how to input the wizard. So all of them are wizard-based applications. So you are basically asked questions about the application you want to build, and the system automatically utilizes information you provide to create the actual application based on the template.
And another one, will the new script console support Git, G-I-T?
Not for the moment. So as we mentioned, we didn't integrate with any source code control out of the box. If you have the need of doing so, we can refer to some of our partners. They created a very nice extension for Model Suite that allows you to do so. So we can take this question offline and eventually refer you to one of the partners that has actually implemented this extension.
Okay. Then one on the grid filters. So are the grid filters saved for the current user? For example, if you apply certain filters on that. Okay.
Among the configuration parameters, you have the possibility to ask the widget to persist the information and the current configuration, and that is persisted in the user's browser. So whenever they access again the application or the grid, they will find basically the last configuration that they applied. So the sorting, the filtering, whatever changes they apply to the configuration.
And that's for that specific user.
Yes, for the specific user.
Okay, another one, the tree grid and data grid and custom panel. Are these all available only in 3.4?
They are all available. No, they started to be available in 3.3. They are not imported automatically into the volume. So if you don't see them, is because you have to manually import them. And you can find them under a library named Sandbox.
And then another one on, well, this is on the grid view. So it's actually kind of a compliment. The grid view is awesome. We like the easy sorting and the inline editing. How's the graphic status implemented? The green line that shows progress.
Again, we implemented the widget, and we're leveraging basically a widget that allows us to really tune the way the information is displayed. So we were basically just leveraging the mechanisms that the widget offers us, so you can really decide how the information in each cell is presented, in each column is presented, and that offers a lot of flexibility in terms of how the information is displayed. So it's not just the green line. You can have various way of providing the information to your users, and also when the users need to change the information that is displayed to apply changes, you have a lot of flexibility also in terms of the widgets you want to provide them in order to manipulate the information displayed in the grid. So as you have seen, for example, for dates, you can offer them a date picker to change the information, but you can also eventually create your own custom widget to allow them to modify the information that is in the grid.
Then we have two more at the moment. The employee onboarding app looks impressive. Will it ever be made available to us to use as a learning tool?
Yes, absolutely. So we are absolutely open to share the demo application and any application that you can find on showcase.ncmod.com. I really invite you to have a look at that website. There's several applications that are presented on that website, discussed on that website, and if you find any of them interesting, you can just ask the support team to receive the application and they will help you with the installing it on your environment and learning it.
And then there is a question still related to, let's say, learning the solution. Are training courses available for using the product features?
Yes. So there's various training solutions. Probably you want to answer this directly.
I can take a stab at this one. So there are various training courses that that Answer Modules offers. So we have, let's say, a traditional one-on-one, meaning one of our resources with your team or the organization's team. And that is, say, live training one-to-one in various formats. Could be in person, on site. Usually it's done remotely, and we have different courses available for that. But we've also, well, I say recently, but in the end, it's not so recent. We have launched academy.answermodules.com, and on there are self-paced online courses. So that is something that, if you haven't had a chance to look at yet, I strongly encourage to look at academy.answermodules.com. And those courses that are on there, they will be, we'll be continuously adding more courses on different topics, even, let's say, more fine-grained topics. So at the moment, I don't see any other questions to go over. So I think we can probably wrap it up here. Again, on behalf of everyone here, thank you for the time. Hope this was interesting. And for those of you that will be at the OT Forum next week in Rotterdam, I hope to meet you there in person. And I believe that this year, we've started to see that there are quite a few more in-person events around the world coming up. So I hope to have the chance to meet and greet the community essentially once again. Oh, we got one more question. And this something for you, Patrick. When will 3.4 be available?
So 3.4 will be released tomorrow. So starting from next week, you will be able to receive a copy of it.
Okay. Any last words, Patrick?
No, I just want to mention that in the release, obviously, I really invite you to have a look at the release note when the solution will be released. Today we covered, I'm saying, the most important new features, but there's a lot of fixing in every release of Model Suite. There's a lot of small improvements that you might be interested in it. So for mentioning one that came to my mind, 3.4, we improve quite significantly the performance of several APIs that were managing data. So for example, listing the data of a form as an API has been significantly improved. So there is additional new APIs, integrations, and stuff like that. So as always, I really invited you to have a look at the release note. If you have doubts, don't hesitate to reach us through the support team. Remember, support team is there not just for issues or bugs or problems. They are also there to support you and working with the solution and to provide you advices and best practices. And with that, I hope that this session was interesting and informative. Thank you, everybody, for attending it.
Thanks, everyone. Speak soon.